The movie begins with Rebecca, whose life seemed perfect. She had a small family. She, her husband Peter, and their son were all happy. Peter worked at a church and wanted Rebecca and their son to work with him, helping those who believed in God. Rebecca believed everything Peter said. She also started attending church with her son. But one day, a tragedy changed Rebecca's life forever. Peter took their son to a camp, and after returning, their son took his own life. This tragedy left Rebecca devastated. She lost interest in everything and even left the church. To drown her grief, she started using drugs. Peter, who was highly respected in society, began to grow tired of Rebecca's behavior. He told her, "You only have 1 year. If you don't get yourself together, I will leave you." Rebecca, who loved Peter deeply and never wanted to leave him, decided that from now on she would do whatever Peter wanted. Peter entrusted Rebecca's counseling to his friend Mary, who worked with him at the church, and moved to another house. He decided he would only see Rebecca once she was completely well. Time passed. It had been almost a year since Rebecca and Peter were together. Rebecca's condition had worsened. Although she wasn't taking drugs anymore, she still had hallucinations. She began to believe that someone was stalking her inside the house and wanted to kill her. Someone would come into the house at night and sit in Peter's office. She tried to tell everyone about this, Peter on the phone and Mary, but no one believed her. Peter even said, "I feel like you haven't given up your habits. You're still using drugs." Hearing this from everyone, Rebecca finally started believing it herself. Maybe these are just my hallucinations because of depression and anxiety. Some days went well after that. But one day, she felt as if someone had sneaked into the house and was now inside Peter's office. Terrified, she called Peter, but he wasn't picking up. She sent him a message. "I feel like a thief has entered our house, and I'm going to kill him." Rebecca took a gun and quietly sat on her bed. She heard a voice near her door again. She immediately came out with the gun, but it was Peter at the main entrance. Seeing him, she ran downstairs and said, "Believe me, someone broke into the house and wants to kill me." Peter believed her and searched the entire house, including his office, but there was no one. This angered him, and he started yelling at Rebecca, "You haven't stopped taking drugs, and that's what's taking its toll on you." Rebecca promised him, "I haven't used any substances for the past year. Mary has been counseling me, and I've improved a lot. I want to be with you. I'm changing myself for you." But Peter didn't believe a single word. He angrily left, reminding her that only a few months were left. "If you don't improve, I'll leave you." The next day, while Rebecca was cleaning the garden, she felt a shadow inside the house watching her. Just then, Mary arrived. Rebecca told her about it, but Mary ignored her and started reading Bible verses. During their conversation, Rebecca received a message from Peter saying he would visit her that day. She was overjoyed. She cleaned the house, decorated it, and cooked Peter's favorite food. She waited for him excitedly at night. When Peter arrived, Rebecca was thrilled. But he hadn't come to meet her. He had come to give her divorce papers. He told her to sign them, saying, "I don't want to be with you anymore." Rebecca was devastated. She begged him not to do this. "I've completely changed myself for you. I've given up drugs and all my bad habits. Now I'll even start going to church with you." But Peter refused to listen. A fight broke out between them. Peter said, "I want to leave you because it was your negligence that led to the death of our son." Rebecca replied, "What was my fault? He went with you. Before he went to that camp with you, he was much happier. Tell me what happened at that camp that led our son to take his own life." They kept shouting at each other. Finally, Peter said he had decided he wouldn't stay with her. Rebecca, who had no parents, whose son had died, and now whose husband was leaving her, felt her life would become very difficult. In despair, she took a pistol from her drawer, held it to her head, and threatened to kill herself. During their argument, a loud, terrifying scream echoed through the house, a sound no human could make. Both Peter and Rebecca were petrified. Peter clearly knew there was a demon or some evil power inside the house. Rebecca said, "Look, I told you there's someone inside this house, a shadow. You didn't listen to me. Now you've heard it yourself." Peter searched the entire house, but found nothing. Rebecca insisted, "That shadow has been living here ever since you left. It has tried to kill me many times. That's why I was scared, and you all thought I was on drugs." Peter still didn't believe her completely, but he agreed to stay the night because she was deeply frightened. Rebecca served Peter food. As he began to eat, she suddenly saw all the food turn black, and Peter's face also turned black from within, as if he himself had become a demon. She got terrified, but when Peter called her and made her sit beside him, he looked normal again. Peter said, "I understand you're very scared. Let's pray together, and these things will go away." They started praying, but suddenly Rebecca saw the door to Peter's office open and something enter inside. She screamed. Peter also heard the door closing and believed her this time. He went upstairs with a gun and tried to open the office door, but it wouldn't budge. He realized there was a terrible force behind it. As he recited prayers, whatever was inside screamed again so loudly that both of them were terrified. Peter fell down, and all the paintings and objects in the house came crashing down. Rebecca understood there was a demonic force in the house that didn't want them to stay. She took Peter's hand and said, "Come on, Peter, let's get out of here." But Peter refused to leave. He believed God was giving him a duty to defeat this great power. Despite Rebecca's pleas, Peter was determined to go inside. Rebecca, out of fear, decided to go with him. As Peter touched the office door, lightning struck the garden and set it on fire. Rebecca went outside to extinguish the fire and refused to go back in. But Peter remained adamant, thinking it was a sign from God. When Rebecca went to the bathroom, a terrifying black hand emerged from the bathtub to strangle her, but a shattering sound from outside made it disappear. She came out and saw Peter had broken the glass with his hand. Both his hands were injured, and he was painting the door with his own blood. Confused, Rebecca asked what he was doing. Peter replied that angels were behind the door who wanted to give him powers, and they had asked for his blood as sacrifice. Rebecca now thought Peter had gone mad. Suddenly, the entire house began to shake violently. The lights went out, and a light appeared from behind the door. Rebecca realized it was Satan. Peter threw his blood under the door. Black powers emerged, threw away the crucifix, and gave Peter dark powers. His wounds healed on their own, and he laughed hysterically before fainting. Rebecca took the unconscious Peter to Mary's house. They told Mary everything. Mary found it hard to believe, but asked them to rest for the night. While sleeping, Rebecca again felt demons approaching her. She woke up scared and went to check on Peter, but neither Peter nor Mary was there. She rushed back to her house and saw Mary and Peter questioning the demonic powers. Peter told Rebecca the truth. These were demonic powers that had been with him since childhood. He had always worshipped them. He wanted Rebecca to worship them too, just like Mary was doing. All they had to do was feed the demon their blood. Rebecca was shocked. When she refused, Peter and Mary revealed that their son had also refused, so they had to kill him. Peter held Rebecca at gunpoint while Mary cut her wrist and offered her blood. The dark shadow dragged Mary inside. Peter then told Rebecca it was her turn. Terrified, she ran and locked herself in the bathroom. Peter, who had now become a demon with supernatural powers, stood in front of her without using the stairs. He told her how he had killed their son at the demon's command because the boy had disobeyed. Filled with rage and a desire for revenge, Rebecca pretended to agree. She went upstairs with Peter, and as he explained the ritual, she picked up his gun and shot him. As Peter died, the house shook violently again. The door opened, black powers emerged, and dragged Peter's body inside. After a terrifying sound, the house suddenly returned to normal. Rebecca understood that the demon had left with Peter's death. She was now safe, but alone. She decided to live the rest of her life alone, and the film ends there.